Oh,
shit. So, welcome back to the TFF panel show. It's been, 2 months, 3 months, I don't know. And we have Kev, the Man United boss, and we have Kristaps, the Northampton boss. And we have me, boss of no one, because I quit TFF. So before we start, I think I need to explain a couple of things. Gentlemen, as you know, I've now, I quit 3 times now. Something like that. And I've
4 if you can't quit in Brentford.
Well, no, I had to kick. No, that don't count because I didn't leave the game wheel. But I've left the game wheel 3 times, I mean. And simply put, I have my visa for Russia today. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but there you go. I'm off.
Right.
I'm off in
Avoid
2 weeks.
those hooligans, because that looked brutal on the news yesterday.
yeah, never mind that. So, I've been keeping in touch with quite a few of the guys in TFF, and keep leaving. Obviously, people are going to think I'm weird, and they might be right. Simple. There isn't any answer other than I'm busy and stressed in real life, and first thing to go is SM, unfortunately. But I'm going to really try and keep things on an even keel. At the moment, I'm out of TFF, but I'm still taking an interest in it. I've got all the league tables from you, Kev, and I don't see why we can't carry on with a panel show. And it's a bit of fun, isn't it? And I'll be able to do probably one every 2 or 3 weeks, I reckon. It won't be like it was before, but one every 2 or 3 weeks. But
no, it'd be good.
Moving to Russia in 2 weeks. Then I've got a new job in Slovakia in September. Also, I've been looking after family and speaking to some of you guys. Some of you guys have got families, or you raise kids by yourself, or some of you have got health problems. I know that one manager lost a relative the other day. We saw Richie quit, didn't he? He needed a break. So this is real life. This is what happens. I suppose the only weird thing is I keep coming back, but that's because I miss it. So I hope that explains things, and I hope to see people back in TFF soon. Okay, so welcome, guys. Thanks for coming on. That was your cue to speak.
Okay. Right. Well, sorry, I wasn't prepared. Well, you're Gabby Logan for the night. You know, you're not playing, you're not in the game, but you've got the questions.
No, I'm not Gabby Logan. I'm Gary Lineker, you cheeky git. So Gary Lineker doesn't. He can present match of the day. He doesn't have a team. So
he doesn't.
So well, first of all, I might as well talk to you two about your teams. Kristaps, you're having a good season. Still up there in second place, looking good for promotion.
Yeah, it's at the moment I'm second. Pretty happy about that. Try to move teams a few times unsuccessfully. So I decided to stay for the rest of the season with these players that I bought myself. Most of them really close to retirement, probably. But as you see, second place, best defense in the division.
Yeah.
Could have been at the top if I haven't lost 3 in a row at one point. But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I think buying players like buying. No, I was just going to say, buying players like that can be a kickstart. You know, you haven't got 100 million to spend, have you? So
I have barely 100,000.
Exactly. So a few cheap old guys can be a kickstart if you get promotion.
Yeah, I think a big help was from Swansea, who sold me. Can't even remember his name.
Lewis.
Carvalho.
Oh,
39 years old.
Kristaps.
Yeah.
Don't forget, in number 1 is Sheffield Madrid, and they're basically a Division 2 / Division 1 team. So if you forget about them, you're actually top.
I think they should have had a bigger lead than they have at this point. It's only 3 points at the moment, but I think that the manager who's managing them now is doing probably better than the previous one. I'm not saying the previous one did a really bad job, but
Well, it wasn't. It was the first manager they had, I think. Sheffield United were doing rubbish. Then Ali Hairdressers took over, didn't he? And went on that amazing unbeaten for like 2-3 months, only then to finally get beaten in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
James Murray at
Yeah.
United now. He
Yeah.
knows
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, but before Ali left, I think he wasn't at the top of the table. He was somewhere in the playoff positions, I think. If I remember right.
Was it this season that he left? It was earlier this
Yeah.
season.
I
I can't remember exactly when he left now. But
He left
think
about
he
4
left
games
quite
in.
early.
But
Right.
Yeah, something like that.
But Sheffield United have been lucky because Ali and James are both good scouts. So already they had a big club, big attendances. They already were the wealthiest club in Division 4. And then they've got 2 managers that spot talent and increase the value. So they're just so far bigger than the rest of that division. So I expect them to go to Division 3 and win that, to be honest.
they could all the promoted teams are doing really well, pretty much.
Yeah. So
We had
Kristaps, just one question before I move on to Kev. You say you've applied for other jobs. Ideally, what sort of team would you like if you were to leave Northampton?
The team I would like is not in this league. I would like to not manage Notts County, but
Okay, so
probably I was looking more towards like a championship, like a Division 2 team, something like that. But those managers are basically stuck in there. There were some Premiership teams that lost managers, and that's it. Since I'm new to this game, I didn't get a lot of votes to manage a big team like that.
well, you've done nearly a full season, so I think really you should be a strong candidate for any job that comes up.
I would think so.
Nah.
Yeah.
I will stay until I see how much money we get.
You might get a little bit because your squad value's not. You'll probably get around 8 million.
Hopefully.
And might get a state. What's the stadium like? You might get a stadium increase if you get promoted as well.
It's not going to be a lot.
7,500.
You might get a few.
No, you
hundred.
might get 2,000 or 3,000.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Right,
2,000 or
Kev.
3,000.
Kev,
Yeah.
you ready?
Hello.
You ready?
I'm ready. Yeah.
Kev, let's go back to the start. Because there's a few people that might be watching this that don't know about the panel shows. There might be people watching this that weren't in TFF 1. Let's go way to the beginning. Okay, way to the origins of the Facebook group when I would give you a lot of stick about Man United underperforming in season 1, and you would come back to me and say, "Look, I bought Kane, I bought Ali. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. I've got the long term sorted with Man United. Top four. You came 6th, I believe.
Yep.
Then we
6th, yeah.
Then we kind of moved the goalposts, and then we said, okay, season 1, not the best, but you know what, Kev's bought well. Then you started off, let's say, slowly. Is that fair to say? Start off slowly. You did a deal
the whole
involving.
Season's been slow.
Well, I'll come to that in a minute. You did a deal involving Gareth Bale coming to you, which went against the original policy of your age, and then you swapped Pogba and Coutinho, which, to be honest, I mean, I thought you got a reasonable deal there. Coutinho coming in, I think, is an excellent deal, but a lot of people felt that letting Pogba go was a mistake. I don't know, because you also got Loftus-Cheek, didn't you?
Yeah, he was part of the deal. So I was happy with that. I mean, if you look, what's likely to happen to Pogba's not going to get an increase at the end of this season.
Coutinho,
he's not even. Mourinho is even.
Yeah.
Coutinho probably will.
Definitely.
Similar age. One of them's going to go up. One of them's not yet. So
that
it makes
deal
perfect
for me,
sense.
I'm not going to cane you for that deal because I think that deal, you could look at that favourably from either perspective. So no problem there. So then then after last year's disappointment of not making your target, which was top 4, top 4 was definitely the target this year, wasn't it? Definitely.
Yeah.
And now let's have this right. You're 7th in the table with 12 games to go. You're 9 points away from Everton, who are realistically the only team you can catch because the top 3 are way out.
It looks that way, yeah.
You're out of both cups. I don't know about your European campaign.
Well, we don't have one because I'm not a goal manager.
Okay. So, Kev, what's the situation then? How do you explain this season?
Well, let's just work out what was happening last season. And we talked about this on the previous panel show, I think. We just weren't getting possession. And so I sorted that out. I brought in Verratti, Rabiot. Also, I got rid of Ali and Pogba because they can't hit a bundle with a banjo. Needed more attacking talent because we were having all this possession. This season sorted the possession out, dominating games, but still Kane couldn't score, Pogba couldn't score, Ali couldn't score. So I've got in Bale, Coutinho, Mertens as well. So we've got some of the best attacking talent in the world. We're all doing well in real life. Kane's scoring for 5, Mertens, and still we're dominating games. Our recent games, most of them have been draws. We lost to Palace the other day. I can't argue about that because that was a fairly even game. And Watford as well was a fairly even game. But all the other games, we've had sort of 55 to 60 plus possession. We've had 4 times as many shots and just not scoring goals. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do there. Do I get rid of Coutinho and Kane and Mertens now and try someone else? As a manager, it's kind of difficult to know what to do because we're creating chances and having all this possession. They're just missing everything.
Okay.
I'm baffled by it, honestly.
So I can't fault you for any of the signings you've made. They're all class players. Any other manager in TFF would love any of those players you just mentioned. Class players.
Oh yeah, I've had offers for them. Yeah.
Sorry.
I've had offers for them. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know.
So it's not a question of.
But I mean, I'd understand.
Sorry, Kev.
Tactically, I've changed a bit because, like I said before, we weren't getting possession. Now we are, and we are creating the chances. And I don't know what more I can do from a tactical point of view.
Well, I was just going to say, from a squad building point of view, you know what you're doing. You've had success in lots and lots of game worlds over many years. You know about the latest changes, market rises. You know how to build a squad and get value. So you do all that as well as anyone. So it has to come down.
Well, I'm trying my best. Yeah.
For sure you're trying. It has to come down to the tactics. It has to, and the game engine. The tactics and the game engine.
Well, I can't see what can I do tactically besides setting a team which has 17 shots per game, and the other team only have 3, but the other team score 1 out of their 3, and we score 1 out of our 17. I don't know what I can change there. It's not like I haven't got a good keeper, and it's not like I haven't got decent strikers.
No, without looking at your individual games and how you're setting up, I can't answer it. I remember last year I felt you were weak in midfield, but you addressed that. The only thing I can say is it a case of a lot of inferior teams with lower ratings are basically setting up camp and then hitting you on the break?
That's exactly what teams are doing against us, yeah. Everyone's sort of counter-attacking against us, which you'd expect. But then it's not like our defence are shoddy, and it's not like we've got De Gea. The problem is we're getting all these chances but not scoring them. And that's pure and simply the problem. If someone catches us on the counter-attack and nubs a goal, then that's fair enough. They're not preventing us creating chances. They're not preventing us having shots and shots on target. It's just the shots aren't on target. They're in row Z.
Okay. Last question.
I don't know what I can do.
It sounds like you're a little bit frustrated. Are you at the point where you would like a different challenge, or do you want to keep going and see this through?
Oh no, this is my team. I'm seeing this through.
All right. Okay.
And I'll be changing up the tactics a bit as well, to give it a go and see if that makes any difference with the game engine, and hopefully we'll get top 4 this season.
Do you think you will?
It's looking less and less likely, but there's plenty of points still to play. It's another 12 games.
Okay, let's move on to. Now, when I obviously left TFF, it was pretty much Ben sort of walking away with it. Definitely the first half of the season. Then Chelsea showed massive improvement under Glenn, and they were in it. And then out of the blue, the Liverpool vacancy came up. Johnny went for it. Johnny got it, and now has done very well there. So we now have on our hands a 3-horse race for the title. Where do you two see this going?
That is very close.
Kristaps, you got any opinion?
I'll just say that beginning of the season we were asked to predict who's gonna win it.
Yeah.
It sounded really funny when I chose Chelsea, didn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Not because of the squad.
So I'm gonna stay. Yeah, I know. I remember that, but I'm gonna probably still stay with Chelsea and think they're gonna win it.
Kev?
I can't remember who my prediction was at the start of the season. I've got a feeling
surely
I
you
predicted it would be
Kev.
between. Well, I just wanted us to make sure we got top 4. I thought we'd be in the running, but I'm sure that I said Chelsea have got the strongest squad. Chelsea got the best team. Liverpool and Arsenal both have arguably stronger teams as well. Chelsea, I think, looking at everything from the start of the season, should be the ones who are winning it. But they had a bad start. They had a start like ours. But Glenn's turned that around now.
So,
and,
so Kev, what are you going to call
Arsenal's
it?
lead.
What's going to be?
I'm going for Chelsea now.
You're both going Chelsea. I spoke to Ben today. We got a TFF exclusive. Ben, basically, the reason is he wants the double. He's got greedy. He wants the double, and it says, I mean, should a side of Arsenal's quality be able to go on 2 fronts? But it's a conundrum in TFF, in Soccer Manager, when to go for a league and a cup is very difficult.
It is at this stage, but the teams like Arsenal get more money and have stronger squads in a few years. If you can get the double in the first couple of years in a game world like this, then you've done amazingly. Yeah.
Right. That brings us on to the cups. Now this is interesting. So Arsenal and Chelsea are in a cup finals. So that's going to be exciting. So they're battling it out for the league title, and now they're going to meet in a cup final as well. Proper giants clashing. Where's your money on that one?
Go on, Chris.
Oh, I don't even follow Division 1 and Division 2. I just have to look after my small teams that I have to kick around just to get promoted. But I think Ben something mentioned about that he's going for the cup as well, so I would say that Arsenal is going to win this one.
All right. So
can't give a double to Chelsea. That would be too much. Just probably Arsenal. Penalties or something.
I think Arsenal need it more because Ben had to. How big was his lead? Can you remember how many points he was ahead?
No, but it was
as big as Hammersley.
Mm.
It was.
I think 12 to 14 maybe.
Something around that. And he's sacrificed a lot of games to go on this cup run because he wants to double. So if he misses out on the cup, I mean, they're both gonna. Chelsea and Arsenal, either side of that cup final, are both going to have weakened teams out. So I don't think it's going to affect them in the league that much because they both stand a chance of losing. So
does that not give Liverpool?
Crucial.
Does that not give Liverpool the advantage?
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, in the league it does. But I think Chelsea can come back from that. I think there's time. And I think Arsenal need the cup more, and I think I don't know. It's a toss of a coin for me. I'll go Arsenal just for the sake of saying something. I don't know Arsenal.
Okay, and then we go on to the other cup, and well, first of all, Everton are flying in the league up to 4th with Andy Guest. After that, he got a lot of stick last year, but he seems to be doing it now. And I look at the semi-final lineup, and Andy's in that, and plus 3 teams facing the relegation battle. So it's a very interesting mix. Everton, and you've got Hull, and you've got West Brom, and you've got Sunderland. Where's your money on that one?
Well, I don't think Dom thinks he's going to get relegated anyway. He's been saying that for ages with Hull manager. So I don't know if they're going to be putting too much priority on the league. What Kolas will do at West Brom, I don't know. I think he'll probably go for that as well. So Hull against West Brom is going to be a tight game. I think they'll both have full teams out. Sunderland, I don't know how they're down there. They've just had a really bad run recently. They've only recently dropped down that far. They were up sort of mid-top half of the table. I think Nick Ford's going to have to concentrate on the league there. He's not going to want to get relegated. And Everton, being so high up in the league, they can concentrate on the cup without having to worry about too much else. But now they've crept into the top 4, is Andy going to want to properly go for that? I think he'll settle for. So I think Everton will beat a weakened Sunderland side and then go on to win the cup because they're stronger than. You're going to put your best team out for a final, and they're stronger than both Hull and West Brom.
Also, I spoke to Andy today, and he told me he's got unfinished business in the cup from last year.
Well, there you go. So he's concentrating on it then.
Yeah. Kristaps, any thoughts on that at all?
No.
Fair enough.
Not a single one.
Yeah, but I still want a prediction from you. Choose a team. Choose one.
I have prepared nothing, so.
Neither have I. It's off the cuff. Don't worry about it.
I would say Hull and Everton will play in final. Everton probably going to win it.
Fair enough. Right. Now we'll drop down the table because you alluded to Nick Ford earlier. Now, Nick did a great job at Wigan and actually started this season very well in Division 2. He was flying. I'm a little bit surprised he took the Sunderland job, to be honest. I think he could have held out for a better job. But he's gone there. They were mid-table, and I was really surprised to see him in the bottom 3. The only thing I can say to that is, from memory serves me right, the bottom half of Division 1 was ridiculously tight. 2 wins and you're up there, 2 defeats, you're down there. So I personally don't think Nick will get relegated. But who is going down? Which 3 teams are going down?
Can I ask one question? Since I wasn't in the game world in the season 1.
Yes.
Nick wasn't originally managing Wigan, wasn't he?
No, he started with Burton, was it? He started with Burton.
Someone like that. He took over Wigan when Richie left, but he carried on.
They won the
league title.
He took over Wigan about halfway in season 1. Round about then.
So, I could answer your question why he took over Sunderland. I think he has moved up, team by team moved up, from Division 3 to Division 2 to Division 1. In my mind, I think he thought in his mind, he thought that Sunderland was in a good position at that point, and he thought that he could do a good job at the team. And then maybe next season, when one of the top 6 teams would lose a manager or something, he could move up on that one.
Like stepping
That would be my only guess. Yeah, why he moved to Sunderland, because I think he was top of the table with Wigan when he moved. So
yeah.
Well, I've spoken to Nick quite a bit, and he was, when the Sunderland job came up, he was a bit unsure of whether or not to go for it. In the end, he thought, oh well, I might as well. I'll throw my name in, and then he got the job. And like several other managers, he's since gone on to, I wouldn't say he regrets it or anything, you'd have to ask him, but he says he's not sure whether he should have left Wigan. Because even now, Wigan are still, I think they're second in the league. And Are they level on points? I can't remember. Gillingham and Wigan. So I'm surprised that Sunderland, they've lost their last 4 games, and they were pushing probably, well, not for top 4, but certainly could have got top half. But at least started out okay at Sunderland. It's just been a bad run of results. I think Sunderland will be all right. Hull going them down, I think. As Dom keeps telling me, Brentford is looking pretty dire for them. And then West Brom, if they've got the distraction of the cup, probably be the 3rd team.
Okay. Kristaps, any thoughts, or should we move on to Division 2?
Move on to Division 2.
All right. And did we do Division 4 to start with? I can't remember. Yeah.
We touched on it, yeah, at the top.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll do.
Next.
I want to talk about Division 2. That's very exciting. Wigan and Gillingham, number 1 and 2. I can't believe it. They started well, but I didn't expect them to be 1 and 2 after 26 games. And all the big boys that we imagined would be up there, they're kind of 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th in that area. Who is going up? Who's going up from Division 2?
Can I add something?
Yeah.
That we just talked about? Like, if Wigan gets promoted,
yeah,
and Nick goes down with Sunderland, you're probably gonna regret it. Because I think it would have been easy. Sorry?
I think that's stating the obvious.
Kristaps, I don't know if you weren't here in season 1, but Dan at Bournemouth, he was the manager. Was he at Leeds? Dan started off as the Leeds manager, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he left Leeds to go to First Division Bournemouth, and then Bournemouth got relegated and Leeds got promoted.
Yeah.
So that's a similar thing there, Kristaps. It happened already last season.
Yeah. I left Tottenham and ended up at Burton. Right. Enough of that. So I saw the league table in Division 2. I don't want to name names. I'm going to. There's a few managers underperforming in Division 2. Lewis. Now, I spoke to Lewis today. He's been very busy in real life. But for me, Swansea should be higher than they are. Bournemouth were doing well and about a wobble. Villa doing okay. Can we say that?
They're doing all right. I've been following Division 2 quite a lot. Villa started out okay. They had a really awful run, and everyone was taking the mickey, but they're starting to get results together. By the way, the 3 promoted teams were Gillingham, Wigan, and Sheffield Wednesday. And a couple of weeks ago, they were the top 3. Wednesday are in 5th now.
And they're run by Nick Dunks now. Nick Dunks.
Oh yeah, of course they are, because Johnny left.
Yeah.
But Lewis was saying he was going to get promoted. Not doing too well at Swansea, but in his defence, can't believe I'm going to say something in his defence. He did concentrate on the cups a bit, which is an outside chance if you're Swansea, if you're a Division 2 side. Yeah. So that's probably cost him some points. If he wants to get promoted, he's going to have to do it by the playoffs, I would think, but you never know. The big surprise for me is the teams that went down. You got Bournemouth, you got Swansea. We've spoken about them. Bournemouth at the 4th, they're doing okay after a bad run.
Middlesbrough.
Who was the other one? Middlesbrough, down in 16th. And they've got a decent squad there. They're underperforming the most for me.
I made a note of Middlesbrough and I made a note of Cardiff. Middlesbrough and Cardiff are basically 2 teams that both got relegated, and you would expect them with their squads to be making a push to come back up. Both look like they're going to... I don't think Cardiff will go down, but are struggling also in Division 3. To me, that's just 2 very inactive managers in TFF. Even now, in Season 2, we have managers that are inactive.
Lee at Middlesbrough last season, they were just sort of sat on the bottom of the league and he wasn't doing anything. And then towards the end, he kind of started making an effort and they picked up some points. They didn't stay up. But this season, again, I went through their squad and it's a decent squad. But they're not doing much.
No. Okay, and I'm a bit surprised by Derby. I thought Michael Bowles, he got them into the playoffs. I thought they'd be up there again this year. and Brighton in the bottom 3. That
I was going to
surprises
say
me.
Brighton. Dave's a good manager. I'm surprised to see Brighton down there.
Norwich,
And
Norwich with DP, a top 100 manager. Really, what have Norwich done in the 2 years?
yeah, and Forest as well have had a poor run.
Do you know what? I didn't notice. Where are Forest in the league? I didn't see that.
Forest are 11th. At the start, they were sort of top. They were top for a while and hanging around there, and then just sunk like a stone. I don't know what will happen with them. But.
Kristaps, any thoughts on Division 2?
No.
Crikey, Kristaps, you're going to contribute to that. Right. Division 3. Kristaps, Division 3, which is the division that you dream of. So you can talk about this. I want to give a mention to QPR. They're flying, and it's Dario, and it doesn't surprise me. I rate him. Division 3. Kristaps, tell us about Division 3.
What do you want to hear?
Anything you like.
Everything, Kristaps.
Everything.
Everything. Tell us everything about it.
I have no idea, but
Make it up then.
Might as well get Garth Crooks next time. He's got no idea about anything, but he still makes stuff up.
Kristaps, tell me how Atletico Bilbao are doing.
Sorry?
Tell me how Bilbao are doing and Paris Saint-Germain. They're in Division 3, aren't they?
Probably.
Have you been smoking something from Hammer?
No, I don't smoke.
Have you ever heard of Soccer Manager?
I have.
Look.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Right,
I probably have.
You know who's top of Division 3?
I do.
Right.
Because I'm looking at it now.
Good man. So for you, the top 2, we're looking at Wimbledon and we're looking at Blackburn under Keith. Only one defeat all season.
Yeah, he's been on a pretty good run. I think he mentioned quite a few times that his run could end.
Well, it did.
He also mentioned quite a few times how he was the only unbeaten team in the whole of the game world.
So
yeah, that's him.
What a shame for him that the panel show's back and he's lost.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Should have put him on when he lost.
Well, anyway, they're still doing well. Reading, Ali Haider, are they going to catch him?
I think they could. Surprised to see again some of the promoted sides doing really well. Leyton Orient won in the playoffs. They're third. Which is
but Andrews bought. What's the difference between what Wimbledon do and what Andrews doing?
Well, not necessarily a lot, but
no, I'm just making the point because Wimbledon, obviously, apart from being a multiple count cheat, we all slag off Wimbledon's approach.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
I've often been hesitative to slag off the whole idea of buying cheap, highly rated players. I mean, it happens in real life. You get all these sort of ex-Premiership players who are down in the lower divisions now, don't you? And that's exactly what's going on here.
It's a fair point. I suppose if
they get promoted, they're going to get money. They're going to do all right. It's like we've said before about like Luton buying just a load of 17-year-olds and finishing bottom of the league. It's pointless. Yeah, well done. You've bought young players, but you're crap. I'd rather buy old players and be good. And you're not going to run the club into the ground if you keep getting promoted and keep doing well, because you're going to get investment. You're going to get money. You're going to get prize money.
Kristaps, what do you think?
They're going to get more money and even more older players?
No, what do you think about buying loads of old players? Because you've done that at Northampton.
Yep. Only thing I did, I didn't buy. I tried not to buy anyone older than 35, and then I bought Carvalho.
So you're not going to get an 88 rated player cheaper.
But so Kristaps, right now, are you playing basically to win? Winning is the number one priority.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else?
Well, you say that. So
I really don't have like a other chance, as my bank account is basically empty. I have to last the season with what I have about 15 first-team players, and
Well,
only one. And
there
only
are many
one of
ways
them.
of playing this. It's not you can buy a load of old high-rated players and try and get success quick. And if you know what you're doing, it probably works. It works for Wimbledon and Hull and Brentford in the season 1, and it works for Andrew Achilles at Leyton Orient, and it's working for you, and it's working for Philip at Scunthorpe this season. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I've done it in the past at various teams, and it can work. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there is the managers that is going to make them feel physically sick, like Nick Justice. He's going to come out in a rash just even thinking about it. And so some managers like to think of themselves as soccer connoisseurs. The idea of having players above the age of 25 is not going to sit well with them, and they're quite extreme. They want only youth. And then you've got managers, I would put myself in this bracket, where you have a mix, and where you're trying to be competitive, but you're also trying to grow the squad as well. And it's a balancing act.
I think with being in the lower divisions, there's going for younger players or doing like a mix where you said with some older players and some youth doesn't work now because the upgrades are coming slower and slower, and you're not getting these like rises for your players, which would help your team, or you hope to sell to get some money to buy some better players. So that's probably it's not the reason why I choose to do that, but I think that is the best way how you can get promoted quickly from the lower divisions.
Then there's another thing. When I was at Colchester, I honestly only ever saw myself staying there long term. I'm really upset that I left, and if I could turn back time, I would have stayed, but I can't. But there are some managers that they're only ever going to stay at one club, so they're planning all the time to do the right thing for the long term. But then there are managers like you said, Kristaps, that maybe use the club as a stepping stone. So why bother getting young talent in and risers when you know you're going to leave? So really, just getting short-term results is all that matters, and that's how some managers play the game. But
well, that was my thinking until I didn't get any other jobs that I was trying to get, like any other teams. I think I now have about 12, 13 youngsters in my youth squad.
Yeah.
Which basically, I'm basically slowly tying myself down to this team for a longer term.
Yeah. So,
but
okay, we've covered all the divisions as best we can today. I need more panelists to go into it more at depth. I want to talk about something more broadly now. How do you think TFF is going? Is it still going strong? Is it harder? Is it more? Is it less? Is there less going on now? Is it calmed down? Is it sort of chilled out? What is the general vibe in TFF?
It has chilled out, yeah.
There's no bongs?
Less crap on the news. There's no, I don't know. I think I said to you I was going to thought about doing some the other day, but I didn't in the end. I don't know, but I think the game world is calmer, and I think it benefits from that. There's nothing really wrong there. Whenever there's a vacancy, which isn't very often, they're filled straight away. It's all still full, and everyone's competing. Maybe there's one or two managers who don't sign in that much, but.
In your opinion, is TFF one of the best game worlds in Soccer Manager?
Yeah, for me it is, yeah.
Yeah. And so, okay, so really then we're saying there's nothing broke, nothing needs fixing.
No, I don't think so. I mean, the other thing you said there is it getting harder and so on. I can only really speak for my division because that's sort of the teams that I concentrate on most. What I've noticed this season, if you look at the team squads, none of them are really weak. Last season you had a lot of clubs which didn't really only had maybe one player rated 90 and the rest were below that. So their first team had 86s in it and stuff. With the sort of funding that's come in after a season, they've all been able to buy decent players. So most teams, even the small teams now, have got a few 91s, maybe even a 92 in there, which is partly why you've got teams like Watford doing so well. Who thinks Watford's small club? Look at their squad. Look at the ratings. They're bought well there. So
yeah,
I think there's not a bigger gap between the big and small clubs there now.
So here was my question. TFF in season 1 was a mess. It was concocted in one night. We then spent the entirety of the season getting rid of all sorts of dodgy accounts. I even hear after I've left there was a situation with Roy Keane. I missed all that, by the way. So that was another dodgy.
I'm not really sure what happened there.
But we've just had a long list of dodgy accounts, multiples, and it shouldn't be like that in a top game world. So now is everything sorted and okay, brilliant? Or is there scope for a brand new TFF in the summer? What do you think about that?
I think people are getting sick of too many new big game worlds. So I don't know. We could start another one. But
we're not talking about any game world. We're talking about a TFF going to 100 teams.
Is having another one going to take away from this one?
Possibly. Possibly.
People who aren't doing so well in this one going to think, oh, well, I'll just concentrate on the new one.
You absolutely could. I'm playing devil's advocate. I don't know. I'm putting it out there.
Yeah, of course. And in terms of dodgy accounts, there's not been any cheating. There's not been any dodgy deals done.
No, but if you've got 2 accounts in one game, well, that is cheating.
Well, there's not. You know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
But in terms of, I think it's the managers who just don't really bother too much that are not ruining it, but just making it. It could be better if everyone put that effort in, but then different people have different time constraints and different football knowledge as well. It can seem like someone's not doing much, but maybe they don't follow the game as obsessively as idiots like I do.
Well, no. I'm looking at the likes of Middlesbrough, Cardiff, Bristol Rovers, Bradford. I'm looking at those managers thinking they could be doing a lot more. Maybe a couple of teams in Division 4, but mainly it's those sides now. Oldham, they're another one. And then after that, everyone seems to be pretty active.
Yeah, I think on the whole, it'd be difficult to get better because you're always going to get people that leave. People's lives are going to change, and they're going to not have as much time, or they're going to have more time. So I think it's as good as you're going to get. Really, only a few tweaks. And
so, has the transfer market got a bit dry? Is it getting harder to buy players?
I don't think so. I think there's been quite a lot of transfers lately. Hang on, let me just look at the. Yeah, I mean, there's more bids in today. There's plenty of transfers going on. And I think the squad cap's coming down again at the end of the season, isn't it?
Are you in favour or not in favour?
I don't think it'll make much of a difference either way. It's not going to affect me. I've got 34 players in total or something like that.
Kristaps, what do you want? Do you want a big squad cap or smaller?
Probably not going to affect me either, since I have no money. But I would play with any squad cap. It doesn't matter to me.
Fair enough. Personally, I like 30, 35. No more. I think, what's Nick taking it to? 35, 40? I can't remember.
I can't remember exactly what it is now. It's 50 at the moment, isn't it?
I think there was a vote between 35 and 40.
Something like that.
A little vote, but people think about it, and it was about 35 or 40.
Okay, so how, if you, Kristaps, you say that TFF is also one of the best now, one of the best game worlds. Is there anything that can be done to improve it, or just we carry on as it? Or sorry, you guys carry on as you are?
I'm not sure. I'm not like. I'm not. I don't want to say that I just come in and set my team and that's it and read the news feed. But I think if you would make bring down the squad cap to about 35, 40, there will be some more players to go for the lower league teams.
So that's one
That's,
suggestion.
yeah, that's the thing where I mostly think about.
There's not that many teams that have got over 30, 35 players anyway. There's only a handful of teams, I think. So I don't know if it'll free up that many. So like I was saying, I've got, I think 34.
Well, Arsenal must have a lot.
Oh, I don't know. I'll check that as well in a second. So I've got 34.
I think a few teams have about 40-something players in the first two divisions.
Derby County. Bowlesy likes a big squad.
I think he has about 45.
Those have a lot, I think, yeah.
Yeah. And,
so Arsenal... Oh, yeah, Arsenal... Hold on. 38 and out on the 4. So they've got 42.
Well, I think he's reduced that, then that was bigger. Okay, we're going to leave it there, guys. And hopefully I've got Nick Dunks, Paul, and one other. And next week, can't remember.
I saw a list earlier on that you posted, but I can't remember who else it was now. Yeah.
Because I fly 2 weeks tomorrow, so I could feasibly get 2 more in before I go. So hopefully we'll get the panel shows up and running. If there is a list waiting to get in, which there normally is, then all those managers should get into TFF. But after that list is exhausted, hopefully Nick will accept me back into TFF, and ideally I'll take a Division 4 team. That would be my preference. Just any team in Division 4, and just build them up from there. And we'll get the panel shows going again, because I've missed it and I enjoy it all. And hopefully, I mean, a couple of months ago we had about 20-25 people come on from TFF this season. So hopefully we'll get more and more people back on again. All right.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first one I've had to do this season. Normally, I'm sort of last resort. So, oh bollocks, haven't got anyone. Kev will go on. But this season, this is the first one I've had to do.
Yeah, and there's probably. Sorry, Kristaps.
I wish I was more prepared next time.
Yeah, you were bad. To be honest, I just...
Yeah, thanks for the 5 minutes you gave me.
Look, it ain't match of the day. We just, what was I going to say? I've forgotten. I can't remember. But hopefully we'll get... Oh, yeah, that's it. There are new managers in TFF, and they won't have a clue about this. So hopefully you two can maybe stick an advertisement in the post. Or Kev, I'll tell you on Facebook, and then you can advertise it in the news feed.
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah.
All right, guys. Right, thanks very much, and good night.
Nice one.
See you later.
Good night.